What is up, everyone? It's your girl Yinsu here, back again with another episode of Showstopper. Now, we had an NA guest last week with my co-host from NA, Tyler. But this week, Tyler, we've got a feast because it's time for G2. Let's go.
Oh, Yinsu. Today, yes, we do have a special guest. As a North American fan, I'm feeling very happy right now. We'll get into that a bit later, but we should talk to one of the best smokers, not in just Europe, but in the entire world. G2's AvovA's here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, man.
Best smoker doesn't sound as cool out of context, does it? It sounds really bad, actually.
You're just on the shisha, on the hookah all the time. Yeah. Just smoking away. But thank you for joining us, AvovA. It's an honor to have you here. And because Tyler has set you up as someone that likes to play around smokes, in smokes, like I cannot even count the amount of times you've just somehow won a 1v3, 1v4 because you are housing in a smoke, or you're behind someone's smoke, or pushing through everybody's smoke. So we have a special segment of Roast My Tier List this week. Now, the rule for this week is, like I said, I explained this to you before, but the rule for this week, explaining it for everybody at home, is that we have 5 tiers and 5 smokes, and AvovA, you have to put 1 in every tier. But before we do yours, let me just show you mine, and I will explain myself. So obviously, as you can see, we have the 5 tiers. Give the smoke to every single agent in the game. Swap this smoke with one other agent. Buff it, nerf it, and delete it from the game. Now, before you roast me, I just want to say that the reason I want to delete the jet smoke is because I think it's not that impactful. Like, I don't think we're gonna miss it that much if we deleted it.
Jet will.
No, she won't, because I've given her the brimstone smoke. Like, on my top tier, give it to every agent.
No.
So I'm giving. So I'm giving the brimstone smoke to sacrifice the jet smoke. Because if I delete the brimstone smoke and give everybody the jet smoke, I just think it'll be chaotic. Like, I don't think it's going to be very fun. I honestly think out of all of the smokes, Omens really needs a buff. Because I feel like, you know, it's not a bad smoke, but I think if you can somehow make it like a little bit more like maybe the brimstone one or more like the Viper one, it could be more interesting. Because it does feel like it's kind of in the middle right now. I don't know what I would buff it with, but I think it's a little bit like overlooked. Like, we haven't touched this for so long.
Can we talk about the cooldown or something like that? Or just about the smoke?
Yeah, a cooldown as well and all of that stuff. I think that could be fun. Like, if we just buff it somehow. Because, like, I feel like Brimstone Smoke is really, really good right now, but people prefer to play Omen. But it would be super cool to see Omen if Omen's smoke, like you said, had a better cooldown or there's more stuff to it. I mean, I heard a pro player, I think it might have been someone from Gambit or Na'Vi, that they wanted a smoke where like if enemy push through it, you can, like, it lights up, like it tells you they're pushing through it. Like, it doesn't show you where they are, so you can't shoot through it. But like, maybe, like, you know, on your feed, it just comes up like someone's pushing through one of your smokes.
I think that would be OP.
So OP, yeah, but it'll be so like interesting to see how teams play around that. I haven't thought this out in terms of the buff, but I just think like the Viper smoke does not need a buff. So that's where it is. And with the Astra smoke, I would really love it if Astra, like, this is a really crazy idea, but I'd really love it if we can swap the Astra smoke and give it to someone like Breach. Like, I'd love to see if people would play Breach more often. Like, if Breach had a smoke, you know?
Hey, Hob and Liberty in Brazil, all they do is play Breach.
Yeah.
Don't.
But I mean, like, in EMEA and NA as well.
Real teams.
The regions that matters. But yeah, that's my pitch. So, AvovA, is there anything on there that really offends you, that you think it's a tragic decision?
I think it's pretty good, to be honest.
Oh, yes.
Maybe the Asa smoke. I can't put 2 in buff, so I think it's pretty good. I feel like the Asa smoke could be a bit buffed.
Yeah.
So it could be as big as the Omen smoke. I feel like you could see over it a lot more than the Omen smoke.
True.
It is so tall.
Like the height, you mean? Like the height, bigger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't really thought of that. Yeah.
It's pretty big, but it's like, I don't know how to say it honestly.
Yeah.
It's a bit smaller. So sometimes like there's a little gap here and there, and yeah,
How do
all
you,
is
yeah?
pretty balanced.
How do you feel about my decision to delete jet smokes and then give every single agent brimstone smokes, like everybody?
I can't imagine a jet with the brim smoke. Holy shit! Imagine if you could throw the jet smoke like the brimwall. Not brimwall, sorry. Like you throw the brim smokes like the jet smokes, you know?
Oh,
Just
three-
throw it. It'd be
you can
so
throw-
stupid.
You can just like throw 3 at once and she just
Yeah.
dashes through them. Just
Yeah.
delete Jet from the game. Can we just
wait,
delete
no.
Jet from the game?
So if I give Jet the brimstone smoke, she has to use the keypad too. Like she can't
Oh.
throw them. Like she has to use the keypad.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was sick. That was sick. That's actually gonna nerf Jet a lot.
Yes,
Because
I
you're
did a
gonna
good
see
thing.
someone like Zenith or Killox, like they take a kill, smoke, play in it, take a kill, dash, smoke. Like they're just abusing that shit.
Yeah, but if you had the keypad, but like, so her smokes would be like more supportive. So she can still keypad it down and then dash through it. Like it's not.
And Jet main when
Yeah.
they want to figure it out, I'm telling you. Like it's brimstone main pain. Like you have to turn off the keypad, press 3 times, stuff like that. So
Yeah, no one's gonna
Gonna
play
delete
Jet
a lot more.
anymore. Yeah. Okay,
maybe.
cool. Now I show you Tyler's. Like I said, Tyler trolled this one.
I
He
trolled
broke
it,
the
though.
rules. Okay,
I broke no. I
I'm
broke
gonna
no
let you
rules.
explain yourself, but you did cheat.
So let me break it down to you. I watched Call of Duty Champs last week. You know, a fast-paced, high-level FPS Call of Duty. I'm like, you know what? They don't really have. They don't really have smokes. They just run and gun. And how would Valorant be if we just turned into Call of Duty? Let's just make Icebox every single map. No smokes. Let's speed up the play. Let's speed up the agents a bit. You know, maybe like get some Mountain Dew for every player, some Doritos on the side. Like, I feel like I'm really getting something here, Yinsu. I really think I might have nailed this tier list.
Come on, AvovA. You're saying this in
my
front
God,
of
bro.
one of the best smokers in the world, like you said. You want to delete him from the
It would
game.
be like playing against Liquid right after Zero. They had no smokes and you just went like full flashes, killjoy.
Yeah.
Like they literally had no smoke. I remember playing against them on split, like I don't know. They were just better at that time. Didn't play with any good teams, so they just ran over every noob team, no smokes, and they got when they played against a good team.
Smoking is bad for you, Yinsu. It's bad for
yeah,
you,
but,
AvovA. It's
like,
bad for you.
AvovA, what would you do if they actually just deleted every smoke from the game? Like, it's
Ah, well,
stupid.
honest-
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really hard to do anything. I
Yeah.
feel like every map is designed to have a smoker.
I feel like some teams will do really well. Like Supermassive Blaze probably just don't care. They're like, oh, we'll just kill you. Like, okay,
Yeah.
no smokes, that's fine.
Or
Yeah,
just
it would-
a Turkish jet or something like that.
Yeah, it would damage all of the smart teams, and it would enable all of the dumb run and gun teams even higher to where they are. And as a proud North American, I feel like, I know we have some good smokers, we have some good controller players, but we thrive on the moronic run and gun, the Call of Duty blood in us. So
You're too chaotic, man. That's too
Fun, you just
chaotic.
play 5 duelists and you send it.
yeah, we 5 duels, and let's just delete every character from the game except the duelist. Then your will finally get played.
Oh god. I mean, AvovA, would you rather remove, like, if you had to remove smokes or flashes, like, what would you rather was gone from the game?
Flashes.
Ooh.
I feel like I'll choose smokes at number 1 and then flashes second.
why
Yeah, I
why
agree.
flashes?
I don't know. You don't, of course, need it, but like the priority number 1 is smokes, definitely.
Also, smokes I feel like are more, I don't want to say strategic, but there's more setup to them, right? Where I think a lot of flashes can be reactionary and they're kind of set. I feel like smokes longer played. You know, I would if we did a flash tier list into, I would delete all those too. I would
Oh
delete it.
god.
Let's just have no abilities at all. Let's just have guns and running. That's all I want.
You're too North American for us. This is like the
Everyone
NA
can't fit at that
mentality.
point.
Yeah.
Also, I think every agent should be able to slide. Every agent should
Okay.
be
All right. and every single year we get a new game where everybody has to start again from the bottom. Yeah.
Valorant Cold War,
Okay.
baby.
Cool,
Valorant
cool.
Cold War 2022.
Valorant Zombies would be fun, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you a Zombies fan, AvovA? Do you play other FPS outside of Valorant?
Not right now, but I used to play a lot of COD.
Ooh, what was your favorite? This is an important question.
I played Modern Warfare 2
Oh, okay.
back when I was a little kid.
That's acceptable. I like
And then
that.
he grew up and he became a Valorant player. So
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Came to the Chad game, yeah. Okay, now we gotta get you to make your list. You can't cheat like Tyler, unfortunately. So you can only put one smoke in each tier. Do you
Okay.
want to start from the bottom or do you want to start from the top? Which is gonna be easier?
I'll go from bottom actually.
Okay. Which smoke would you delete?
I'll delete the jet smokes.
Yeah.
Like they just pop too fast. As a jet, if someone is a jet main, no man, it's too broken.
It
She
is.
got the dash, she got the updraft, and 3 smokes. He doesn't have any cooldowns. She can bend it however she wants. Yeah. Nerf. Yeah, nerf Viper smoke pretty much. And the buff is in between the Omen and Asa smoke.
Mhm.
But I feel like buff the Omen cooldown.
Okay,
So
buff
right
the
now
other
it's like 40 or 45 seconds. I'm not sure. So yeah,
do,
like you put one smoke and it starts the round, and then you have to wait 40 seconds.
do you
Watch
guys
something.
like count that when you're like making strats or executing? Like, do you have to keep like in mind of the cooldown and stuff?
Yeah. So every time I throw a smoke in the beginning, I'm telling to everyone, guys, I only have one smoke for 40 minutes. No, not 40 minutes, 40 seconds. And it's really annoying for me because the other guys, they don't really know how to play smoke agents, but they haven't really played it in ranked or anything. So they don't know all the cooldowns or how you can do it, when to do it, like the timings, as me. So yeah, they keep asking, "Can you smoke this? Can you smoke this?" I'm like, "No, I can't. I just put a smoke in mid. I have to wait 40 seconds."
Yeah. Okay, so you're buffing the Omen smoke. I mean, I agree with you. I think the cooldown is very, very long. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be 35, I think, for the nerf. So that was pretty balanced, I would say.
Okay, 2 more left.
Swap with another agent. I guess the Astro Smoker. I think I have pretty much the same as you. Yinsu.
Yes, first time ever on the show. It's never
give
happened
it
before.
to, yeah, then the Astro Smoke and give it to every agent, the Brim Smoke. So now Jet main can just instantly smoke everything in 3 seconds. Let's take out the iPad and everything.
Yeah, they gotta do the iPad. Who are you gonna swap Astra Smoke with? Who are you gonna give it to?
I'll give it to Euro.
Okay.
Right now he's not useless, but definitely use a buff. So I'll give him a smoke as a buff.
Wait, so then he'll have a Brimstone Smoke and an Astra Smoke.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick.
You're gonna be a Yoru main.
The
Yeah.
flash and his CPs and his ult, like really pretty nice.
Yeah. That's
You
how.
finally see Euro.
That's how we fix Yoru. We've done it. We worked it out, Riot. We've done it. Okay, well, we worked out the tier list. We worked out what we're going to do to Yoru, but there's a big, big task ahead of us. As you guys know, when this is released, it would be a few more days into the group's been announced, but the group has just been announced today at the day of filming. So we got to talk about this. We've seen a lot of comments on Twitter. People have opinions or a range of opinions about this. So I think the three of us should break it down. So we're going to go from group to group, and I want to get your views of AvovA on some of the things that's going on in this group. So if we start with group A, a lot of people are calling this the group of death. Do you agree, AvovA? Do you think that this is the hardest group to get out?
Let me pull it up real quick. I think it was Ascend, Silvermassive, and 2 other teams. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Vision Strikers and Paper Rex.
Yeah, and Vision Strikers. Who
Yeah.
was Paper what?
Paper Wreck. They
they're
have Forsaken.
They're the
team.
SCA team. Yeah.
The kid who has like a 400 ACS.
He's
on every
insane.
map.
He's literally insane. Yeah.
I don't know about that team, but those 3 teams, like, it's pretty much the group of death. I would say.
3 of the top 8 teams. 3 of the top 8 teams in one group, plus a team with a godlike player. So have fun, EU. Have fun, MEA.
Who do you think is getting out of this, AvovA? Which 2 teams do you feel like is going to make it out?
Ooh. I could actually see both of the EU teams going through, but at the same time, maybe a Sent losing over Vision Strikers.
So you think Supermassive is like 100%?
Supermassive? It's really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Like on any day, like if you have a good day, one of these teams have good day, they're gonna go through. It's like 50-50, I feel like.
All right, I'm going to force you to pick and see how big-brained you can be. Because, in 2 weeks' time, we can be like, hey, AvovA called it.
I'll say Supermassive, 1, for my boy Power.
Mm-hmm.
And second, I'll put the Vision Strikers.
Oh, that's interesting.
I really have hopes for Ascent, honestly.
Interesting.
I feel like those boys, like, anyone can pop off, especially Zenith. If Zenith pops off, everyone is gonna... It's like a snowball effect, I feel like. Like the momentum, they have really high momentum.
And Tyler, what do you think? Who do you think is going through?
This group, so the first matchup is Ascend versus Supermassive Blaze, and Vision Strikers play Paper X. So I think Vision Strikers beat Paper X. I think Paper X has Forsaken, who's a godly player, where Vision Strikers have like 7 godly players. So good luck. I mean, I think you'll be 2-0 there. I really do think it comes down to Izzy versus CNED, right? These 2 Turkish kings, these 2 Turkish jets playing on LAN, I believe, for the first time, at least at this kind of big event for both of them, right? So I think whichever of those 2 players feels more comfortable on LAN on that day, who's less nervous, I think they probably get that win. If I had to pick the 2 teams...
It's hard. It's really hard.
It's really hard. No, I think Paper X probably goes out 0-2. No offense to Paper X, they're a fun team. I think Forsaken will still pop off. I think he still will
like the
have a 30. He'll have like a 35 kill game that everyone's talking about, even though Paper X goes 0-2. But I think I will go. I'm actually gonna go Ascend 1.
Ooh.
Supermassive Blaze 2. I think both EMEA teams will make it. I think Vision Strikers will. I think they're an extremely good team. I think in most groups Vision Strikers gets out pretty easily, but I think Supermassive Blaze and Ascend are 2 of the top probably 5 teams at the event for me. So So I it's really difficult. It's really unfair. Like if you just switch, like I think if you switch Supermassive Blaze with
anyone else.
If you switch Supermassive Blaze with someone from Group B not named Envy, I think the groups are super even. But they just kind of got one of these teams is gonna get screwed. So I'm just gonna take the 2 EMEA teams. Ascend number 1, Supermassive Blaze 2.
Now I'm worried because if we talk about LAN, because LAN, AvovA, as you know, is like very different to online. Vision Strikers have been playing on LAN in a studio on a stage since February. They've played like all the way through this year. Yeah, they've been playing on stage. Their Masters 1 and Masters 1 they had was on stage. Stage 2, their playoffs was also on stage, and most recently, stage 3, they also played on stage. So
I remember that.
Yeah. Does this change anything AvovA? Do you think like how big of a difference is LAN really going to be? Because I don't think anybody thought Fnatic were going to be good on LAN, but somehow like they were. Yeah.
I feel like right now LAN is pretty much just like a boot camp. I feel like there's no crowd or there's there's no casters hyping up the crowd and stuff like that. I feel like it's just like a boot camp pretty much. That's how I feel like. So I don't think it does much right now, but maybe in the future when there's a big crowd.
So we need your predictions. We need you're not getting out.
Honestly, asking me to choose between 2 EU teams is like asking me to pick between my non-existent children. I really think Vision Strikers are super, super good. And I think like, let's just say, if Vision Strikers go through, I'm not going to be surprised. It's not an upset. Yeah. But I'm the most biased host in the world, and even if Supermassive Blaze and Ascend were in a group with Sentinels and Vision Strikers, I'm still gonna say Supermassive Blaze and Ascend. So Supermassive Blaze and Ascend.
I'll say this: if Vision Strikers could play in NA or EU, I think they could be the best team in the world. I think them playing in a region that doesn't have that much depth, like they're playing in, I don't think Korea is a bad regional. I think they're either the 3rd or 4th best region overall in the world. It's just they don't have that depth of teams. They're not. Vision Strikers is a step above everyone in the region, where I don't think they're getting pushed as much as a Supermassive Blaze or Ascend or 100 Thieves or Sentinels. I think there are just so many good teams in those 2 biggest regions that they're forced to get better. Where I think Vision Strikers, they might come in this tournament and get off to a rough start, or they might not be ready to play at the level of these teams that are, no offense to F4Q, Damwon, New Turn, who are very good teams, but I would not put them in the same tier as the tier 1 NA or EU teams. But Vision Strikers definitely can make it out. They are the smartest team here. They are by far the smartest team here. Everyone steals from them in terms of comps, in terms of strategies. So it's going to be a bloodbath.
It's funny you say this, because Vision Strikers would do well in EMEA, but like they've never played against a Polish mix with like no-namers. Like they'll come.
Bro, the thing is next level. I've tried that before.
Yeah, but like you could be the sickest team in the world and you'll lose to 5 Polish players. Like it just will. Actually, Tyler mentioned that like everybody says they steal from Vision Strikers. Have you ever stolen anything from Vision Strikers?
I think before Iceland, I think like from Masters 1 and back to first strike, I would say, I think everyone took something from Vision Strikers. And then after that, personally, our team, I don't think so as much as we did. Right now, it's more like Sentinel, Ascent got some good stuff. Even the Supermassive Base got some really cool stuff as well. Like even the smaller teams got some really sick stuff nowadays.
I also think the Vision Strikers kind of like, because I think I would say their best player, my favorite player at least, is Stax, who's the best breach in the world. And I think a lot of their strategies were bloomed from that branch of breach. So you do see like Hob on Liberty, for example, they play 3 different players on that team play breach. They play breach on every single map.
God.
It's actually I just watched VODs of them yesterday to write a preview on them. They are so funky and weird, but they are very like the mini Vision Strikers, where I do think, as you said, I think teams have kind of moved on from the Vision Strikers style, just because obviously Sentinels won, and we see every team has to play a jet like tens. Everyone needs that tens type player. Yeah. I'm curious if Vision Strikers can come in and say, hold on, we've seen how NA plays. Let us remind you the top Korean peak here, and let me just like quiet the haters and the criticizers. So I'm very excited for Group A. It sucks. It's not fair. Forsaken versus 3 godly teams, but I'm not gonna miss any of those games. I'm not gonna skip any. They're gonna be super exciting.
I think Ascend versus Supermassive Blaze will have like viewership records broken, because like 2 Turkish teams, like it's gonna be crazy. Yeah. But before we move on to Group B, AvovA, if we don't know who's playing who at the playoff stage, but assuming that you might have to face someone from Group A, who would you like to play against at the playoffs?
I'll play against Vision Strikers. We have played against Supermassive. We got Ascend. I played against them a ton of times, and I don't think Paper Rex is gonna go through, sadly.
Forsaken.
So I just want to try something new, play against the Koreans.
Yeah. G2 versus Vision Strikers, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
That'd be fun.
Right. Okay. Well, let's move on to Group B. We're going to do everything all over the same thing again. So this
group. Yeah. What a group.
This group. Like, I want to know who at Envy paid off Riot to be in this group.
3rd seed, baby.
Because like,
I don't get this group, honestly.
Yeah. Well, what are your first impressions? What are your first impressions of AvovA?
Team Envy definitely gonna win this one.
Yeah.
And the second team, honestly, we played against Crew when they were in Iceland. And I'm not sure about the 2 other teams, the Heaven Liberty or what they're called. And
they got switched out. Vivo Keyed is in this group now. Riot screwed up. So Vivo Keyed, the #1 Brazilian team's in this group.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they updated it.
I don't think it's gonna change too much.
No.
Envy number
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Envy, it's a brawl for number 2.
Number 2, I don't know. It's like
it's a knife fight.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure about the other teams, honestly.
I mean, you can pick one from random. So I mean, your choices are Crew, like you said, you played against them. Zeta Division, who are pretty much the anime villains, gods coming into this.
They leather. They wear
Yeah.
Japan.
They're from Japan.
They wear
Those
all
guys,
black. Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Yep. If they all got anime profile pictures, they're definitely gonna win.
No, they are in it. They literally.
They're
just wear leather
IRL anime,
jackets.
yeah.
Yeah, they're the scariest team. They look like badasses.
I'll pick those guys, honestly.
Yeah.
So enemy 1, number 2, Zeta.
Zeta, yeah.
Nice.
You're gonna get a lot of Japanese fans. Congratulations. You're about to get a lot of Japanese followers when we clip this out.
Yeah.
So
Tyler, what about you? Who you think is going to?
So I've watched all these teams because I have to write a preview about every one of these goddamn teams for our website. I think Envy is comfortably number 1. It would be a shock to me if they don't. I think they do everything better than all 3 of these teams do it. Number 2, I'm actually gonna go with Vivo Kid, the Brazilian team. The biggest thing that Brazil didn't have last tournament was they had no clue how to play against Astra. They actually seemed like they had never seen the agent before, and just they had no confidence. They didn't know how to play the meta. They didn't have really identities. They didn't have a star duelist player to carry them in these big matches. Vivo Kid, they play the meta, have a great Astra player. They play to the meta, which is good. They know how to play. They know how everyone else is playing composition-wise. They play with the Sky. They play with the Astra. And they have the Jet. Heat is a teenage phenom. He is in terms of statistics, I don't want to, statistics can be a bit misleading when it's only in that region, right? It comes down to the competition, but by pure stats, he's a top 5 Jet at the competition. He only plays Jet. I think he's played 130 professional maps. He has literally only played Jet. He has not played another agent ever professionally. No recorded matches on every other agent. And he's a god Jet player. Like, he carries this team like no other. He put up, I believe, 35 kills in a 22-round match during the qualifier. Like, this team is very much built around Heat. They enable him. They have an identity. They have a star player who I think can mechanically step up to definitely Crew and Zeta. I'm really excited to see Heat versus Ye. I think that's going to be a demonic matchup. But I think Brazil has a team that is exciting. They know who they are, and they have a star player who can carry them. So I like Crew and Zeta a lot. My boy is Zeta. I want them to get through. I want them. I love those guys. I've been rooting for them since they were absolute Jupiter at the start of the beta. But I think Vivo Kid definitely in this group. They got lucky they got in this group, but I think they're going to be the big winners of everything by getting this group and going through as the second seed. So Envy and Vivo Kid for me.
Okay, I'm gonna be the agent of chaos here and say Envy are not making it through.
Oh, get the all right, okay.
It will be so NA for them to get the easiest group and then not make it through.
I feel
like
100% true.
That's like this. I could just you see that happening. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if Ascend was in this group, or if like Supermassive Blaze in this group, it's going to be like 13-1, 13-2, 13-1, 13-2 all the way through. But because it is NA, I feel like,
when you say NA, can you only say non-Sentinels? Like non-Sentinels?
Not
Because
Sentinels.
If it was Sentinels,
okay,
they'd be 13.
fair. I agree.
They'd be 13-0ing, teabagging these teams and laughing.
I really like Envy. That's the thing. But just for the purpose of like trolling and just being like dumb, I think Vivo Kid makes it through alongside. I think Crew. I think Crew and Vivo
solid.
Kid. Why not?
I think the thing of Crew is like they're the most like bang. Like I would say Crew are like the gatekeeper team between the good teams and the bad teams.
But also they're both technically like kind of near NA, so it'd be funny if they went through.
Oh, the two Latin American teams
and Brazilian teams go through.
And then
no NA. But AvovA, again, same question. If you had to play one of the teams that you thought is going to go through from this group, who would you want to play?
I'll play against Envy. We like to have
Makes
really
sense.
good defaults, so
Yeah.
I want to see us playing against it just to improve.
I think you'd
Big
beat
brain
them.
FNS.
So, yeah.
Oh, I
Okay,
mean,
the next group I think is a little bit less chaotic. I think this is the best group, like in terms of balance and in terms of
yes.
like it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like winning, for example, like we were talking about the seeding, right? Like what it meant to win EMEA, and I think Gambit winning EMEA and getting this group made the most sense. Like, okay, I understand this is like a reward. We'll get on to the next one about Sentinels winning later because I don't think I think Sentinels got by winning the
I
NA
think
one.
Sentinels are fine.
But-
I think Sentinels are fine.
Come on. Okay, right. Before we get on to that one, so this group, Gambit, Crazy Raccoon, 100 Thieves, and Haven, Liberty, AvovA, who's going through?
Gambit and 100 Thieves.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any way around it.
Yeah.
Played against Crazy Raccoon, they were good, but not that good, you know?
yeah. They're
So
they're,
I
they're, they're
don't
below
see
the
Crazy
crew
Raccoon.
line.
Yeah.
They're below the crew line. They're
Yeah,
below
I would say they're
crew.
pretty much that crew.
Yeah, they're below crew.
Do you think that Gambit goes through unbeaten? Because assuming they're going to have to play 100 Thieves in the upper bracket to go through. Or do you think maybe they have to do the lower bracket thing again?
It depends. I feel like Gambit, they used to struggle a little bit in officials. But this qualifier, or not, what did you play?
Playoffs.
The playoffs, they play really, really well. Like, it's they found like the rhythm or something like that. So they're not losing the unlosable matches against some OBJ or OBG from Russia and stuff like that. They played a lot better this at this time. So yeah, I see Gambit winning first against 100 Thieves as well. So Gambit won, then 100 Thieves second.
I think that's the most sensible one. Tyler, surely the three of us are all in agreement.
I mean, Yinsu. Look, the case for 100 Thieves would be by far not even close. They have the most LAN experience. They have the most experience on LAN of any team. They have literally Nitro and Ethan who are winning CS:GO like top tier 1 tournaments.
Yes,
on
but they
LAN
were getting
2 years ago.
spanked by Navi. Like, let's not forget.
Oh
Like,
yeah, but they were still winning. I mean, Nitro won the IEM Grand Slam 2 years
yeah, and
ago.
Astralis didn't play 3 of those tournaments that they won. Just
It's fine.
letting
Okay.
you know.
They're still. I mean, we're talking about Valorant, but I think as someone who's watching all of these teams, I think there's a clear divide between the top 2 and the bottom 2. Hav and Liberty play like you would think. Oh, they're the Brazilian team. They're this fast paced, crazy team for Jet. Like no. Vivo Keed are the crazy, explosive swag team with heat, and they play through that big ace player. Hava and Liberty, they don't really have an ace player. They are very much like a mini Vision Strikers where they don't play with much ego. Everyone on their team plays flex. Like they all play different roles. I think every player on the team has played at least 3 or 4 agents during their qualification. They play, like I said, Breach on every single map except Breeze, and they've only played Breeze once, so I'm pretty sure if they play Breeze again, they'll find a way to put freaking Breach on that map. They really love their they are a very like execute heavy team where they play off the flashes. They have these very, very just like, blueprinted out, strategies that they are not going to outpower or outfrag Gambit, 100 Thieves, maybe even Crazy Raccoon, but they want to outwork and outthink them. Like Haven Liberty is all about like they have like professional masseuses. They have a professional cook. They do like reflex training. Like they're like trying to like make their bodies and like minds better than the mechanics of the other players. It's a very interesting take, and I like their team a lot, and I like their story. I just like 100 Thieves in the game, but I don't think they can keep up with the firepower. I think 100 Thieves versus Gambit is going to be a very exciting matchup.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be the slowest game of all time. No one's going to do anything.
Yes. Like a lot of these teams, you would consider Haven Liberty like a defensive team, like a slower team. 100 Thieves, they've quickened up their pace with Ethan playing on Sky, and obviously Asuna is a crazy man, and Gambit is like the iron wall, right? They are a defensive fortress of Nats as the last defense. They are such a good defensive team. So it's going to be I've talked all this out just to basically go where AvovA said. I think Gambit gets out number 1, 100 Thieves gets number 2, Haven Liberty number 3, and Crazy Raccoon sadly probably goes out 0-2 again.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. I'm not going to be an agent of chaos here. Obviously, Gambit, 100 Thieves, but that match is going to be funny because it's going to be like, no, you go first. No, you go first.
It'll be Asuna just like jumping in, and then everyone else. It'll be like, can Asuna get the first pick?
Yeah, but he's going to be jumping into Nats' site, so it's going to be like, ugh.
I mean, we talked to Asuna. He said the way to beat Nats is just not to go to the site with Nats. So he will be they'll be coin flipping.
I'm telling you, the other guys, it's like, I don't know, they've been probably the best team in practice for a long time. They've never really showed it in officials, and I know Shadows, fucking insane. Chronicle insane, Defo insane, and Redguard when Redguard kills everyone, you're
I mean, what? Yeah,
and popping off.
I said that too. When Redguard kills everyone on Reyna, it's like, yeah, your team is screwed. Redguard's popping off on Reyna. Well, actually, what do you think about that narrative of AvovA? Because a lot of people, like even in the Turkish community and also outside of Europe, always say like, oh, Gambit, you know, they have Nats and Shados and that's it. Like they just carried by Nats and Shados. Like, what do you think about that?
I can see why they say that, but I've played with Defo like for a long time, like in VPD, just like FPL and CS pretty much. And back then, we used to be pretty much Defo versus CNET, like pretty much all the games. Like Defo, he had a really high skill ceiling. He hasn't really showed it these last matches. I feel like he has been underperforming a little bit, but he's been playing really great anyway. So I feel like if he gets back into his form, it's gonna be a really sick team, honestly. It's really a sick team right now, and it's gonna be even better.
If they get that sword, right? Like I think like in terms of defense and in terms of a shield, you can say like Gambit's number 1. If Defo starts playing more consistently, then they are contenders to win it all, right? If Defo has an off tournament, I don't think they can win. I don't think they can match up with Sentinels or some of these other top tier teams who do have that, you know, ace jet player. But if Defo starts hitting his shots and we see, as you say, peak Defo, Gambit can win this tournament. This is from the NA guy, right? Like Gambit is a very scary team.
Exactly.
Okay, before we move on to the last group of AvovA, one team, I have a funny feeling I know who you're going to say for this one. If you want to face in the playoffs, who would you want to face here?
Other Thieves.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, Carlos versus Nate Shot, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure like if Carlos is trolling Nate Shot yet, but it's definitely going to happen.
Hoodie Org versus Hoodie Org, baby.
Wait, isn't he blocked? I thought Nate Shot blocked a bunch of people on Twitter. I don't know if Carlos is blocked, but that would be funny.
Probably.
Nate, I mean, if he's not blocked now, if they meet in the quarterfinals or the semifinals, yeah, Carlos will be blocked by the time they get that far.
Carlos, he's the best troll ever, man.
And speaking of trolling and speaking of Carlos, and you know, one of the teams that you guys have been, G2 and Sentinels have been going back and forth on Twitter, you know, already hyping it up. Like before you even qualified, I remember Carlos was hyping it up. It's happening. How do you feel about the fact that out of all of the teams you could have had, you got Sentinels first game?
Expected. I got the 4th seed and we expected it to be Sentinels, like pretty much right after. And we have prepared for that, so.
Ooh.
And I feel like he can win.
Are you happy about it? Like, you know, it kind of feeds into everything that has been said on Twitter, or do you feel like you would have rather maybe someone less kind of strong as Sentinels?
Oh, I feel perfectly fine with it.
No, it's awesome.
I feel like if we beat Sentinel, we're gonna have the momentum, just like we had the momentum in the first track with Heretics. I don't remember exactly the first team we beat, but it's gonna have the same feeling. I feel like.
I think he was Liquid and G2, but I don't know what order it was.
I think it was Liquid first.
Yeah.
I think it was like that. We beat Liquid and then the momentum just began. It was insane. So yeah, I think it's fine.
I mean, like you said,
like, I will start playing some less. How do I say it? Not a bad team, but less better team than Sentinels.
The perfect start. The perfect start.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's brilliant for G2, right? Because if this was the old format where only one team made it out of groups, it's terrible. It's not fun. You have to beat the best team in the world to make it out, because 2 teams make it out. So even you're gonna get to win or lose. You're gonna get to play against the best team in the world. So you're going to learn from that either way. If you beat them, your confidence can be sky high. You're going to feel like you can win the entire thing. If you lose, you're going to learn from it, and you can get through. And I don't think this is the F4Q and Bren. We'll talk about them in a bit, but I don't think they are the scary. They're not like Vision Strikers down there, right? So even if you qualify as second, you get to dodge Sentinels until the final, right? Because you're going to be on the opposite side of the bracket. So you don't have to beat them again until the final, which means you get to play against them and then dodge them until the final if you get that second seed or first seed. So I think for G2, it's a great draw because you get the best practice possible. You either get the sky high boost of beating the best team in the world, or you lose, make it through as the second seed, and then you don't have to worry about them until the final.
It would be so poetic that Fnatic couldn't be Sentinels, but obviously G2 can. The most poetic thing ever. You said already that you kind of had a feeling that this was going to be the draw because of the seeding, how that worked, and you've been preparing. So how do you think a team? What does a team need to do to beat Sentinels? Like, how do you actually beat them? Because they just don't lose very often.
I'll let that jump to Coldamenta. This guy, his brain is sick, man. It's just like I would say both are like they have a pretty good mind for it.
So he's got the strat book ready.
Yeah, he got everything ready, and we got our coach Neil and analyst Lucas. Like, it's gonna be a banger, I would say.
Do you guys already know what you're gonna do on stage if you do beat them? Like, are you gonna BM a little bit, like rub it in?
Are we definitely gonna do some dances, just like Fnatic and Iceland? Definitely.
Yes.
Like that would be that's pretty much
You gotta do the plane thing, like something like that if you beat them. Yeah.
We'll beat Sentinel and do the plane thing. I'll
do
that.
Yes.
To do that.
Yes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Tyler, sorry, but it's gotta be done. It's gotta be done. Okay, so who's making it through? I guess, I think it's a pretty straightforward one for you. Which 2 teams do you think make it through this one?
G2 Sentinels. And honestly, it can be both stories, like us first, Sentinels second, or Sentinels first or second. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a world where that doesn't happen.
No, it's just like the Group C with Gambit and Hundred Thieves.
Yeah,
there could be a world. I do think G2 Sentinels by far the best teams in this group, but F4Q are stupid, and I mean that in the best way possible. They are one of the only teams. Them and AvovA and the only 2 teams who don't have really Jet mains. They don't primarily play around Jet. 5K plays Reyna almost every single map. Bunny plays Raze every single map, and Bunny literally satchels into sight.
He's a lunatic.
Out of sight. Legitimately, Bunny he's a cracked out player who literally satchels every single round into your face. He will satchel judge you in the face. So is that going to get F4Q to the playoffs? More than likely not. But can they take a random map off of G2 or Sentinels through their crazy, weird style? Possibly. They are very much the ultimate wild card here. I really like watching them play. They play balls to the wall. They play with zero pressure. They play with zero fear. So I'm very excited to see how F4Q play against some of these 2 giant teams. But obviously Sentinels and G2 are going through. But Bunny is going to satchel someone. He is going to have a highlight play where he satchels and then just kills AvovA with a judge, and G2's just be like, this is dumb. This guy, I hate this guy. This guy sucks.
I think you're forgetting that European teams have literally been playing against Turkey for a year. Like,
to be fair, but Bunny's next level.
Yeah.
Oh no, Bunny's next level. Like, I don't care. He has the craziest clip. He literally plays like he's trying to make a YouTube like clip video in pro matches. So we'll have it's either going to be where he satchels in and has a crazy play, or he'll satchel in and 5 players are just waiting for him and kill him instantly. There's going to be some great highlights from Bunny.
But also, what you don't understand is F4Q, from what I've seen, they're not a team that I don't expect them to stand up and shout on stage or like do any. They're polite, they're nice, you know, they're quite a wholesome team. And you're forgetting we're talking about G2. Like, however, I know that you guys are going to use everything to your advantage. Like, I'm going to see you guys scream. I can see Mixwell right now just standing up and screaming at them when you're winning like 11-0. Yeah.
I don't know, for me, I feel like if they're really polite and just like relaxed, chill guys, I feel bad doing it, you know? so I don't know how I'm going to react.
Oh, you'll say that until Bunny Satchel judges you in the face. Then, even if they're the most polite person, you're gonna get.
Yeah, maybe. But if it's against like Sentinels or something like that, I would be screaming, man. I would be screaming like a monkey, man.
Is there anyone on Sentinels? Because like I feel like you always like maybe you focus onto one person when you do it. Is there anyone on Sentinels that you're like, oh, I want to give it to them on stage?
I don't know, man. Maybe tense. I'll just look straight into him and like, be in his head.
That's how you beat him. I feel like, you know, that's what you got to do. Okay, well that is all the groups. Again, we don't know what the playoffs format is going to be like in terms of which team is playing which team. So it does feel like, as it stands, it's going to be like insanely competitive. And before we move on to the last segment, I have one more question for you, AvovA, is that we have 4 teams, 4 EMEA teams. We have more teams than any other region. So do you feel like there's more likely that EMEA is going to at least be in the final or win it? Or do you feel like Sentinels is going to do what they did to us last time, basically, and just kind of give us a little bit of hope and then beat EMEA in the finals anyway?
In this event, you got a lot bigger chance of winning. I think last time, if you like Fnatic and Liquid, they were really, really good, but they just needed that extra percentage, like the 1-2 percentage, and then they could win. I felt like Fnatic could have won the Iceland event, but the 1-2% wasn't there, and then they just lost.
But this time around, you think, you know,
I feel like Gambit, even Ascend, Supermassive, us. I feel like I don't know, if we hit the day, we can definitely win.
I think so too.
A lot bigger chance now.
I completely agree. Now we are moving on to our last segment, which is more about you, AvovA. And I'm going to open this segment up with, like, I just got to know, because I see you clog up my Twitter timeline with the Hasbulla like memes every single day you play, and it's always different. Like, I feel like that's why I get content about him through you. Like, I don't watch him. I just watch you post content about him. So can you explain why, like, this is the thing that you do?
Stupid.
Why do you have so many?
I don't know. Like, just started with I practiced with G2 like 2 months ago or something like that. Like, just when we got announced, and I Astro pulled like on the Haven A, and Mixwell was peeking from Heaven, and I don't know, it was Heaven, like I pulled, and sometimes movement is like too fast, and you can't really track him while shooting. So Oscar, he just whiffed, Mixwell just whiffed on him, and I just typed in chat Hasbulla peek, and I didn't know anything about Hasbulla. He was just a fun little guy, you know. And from that day, he tweeted about it, and from that day, I don't know, I just became Hasbulla, I guess.
But have you interacted with him at all? Like, do you know him?
No. I don't know him. I'm just trolling everyone pretty much. Like, the whole Spanish community, they really love it, so I just play off it, you know?
Oh my gosh. Okay, because I've always wondered. I thought maybe you knew him and it was like something that you did.
I wish I knew him. I wish. It's too funny, man.
Okay, well, I think we should make it happen. I think at Masters we should try and get his attention, and get you two to have some kind of like meet and greet. That'd be funny. All right, okay, Tyler, your question. I'll get my stupid one out of the way.
We've talked about kind of the prestige of G2 and Carlos and just kind of what they built in League of Legends, now over to Valorant and CSGO, all of these major titles. How much pressure is there to represent and to win on a team like G2 that is very focused on, every time you go into the G2 office, they have the trophy case of all the trophies they won. How much pressure do you feel like it is to live up to the legacy of the League of Legends team and everything else Carlos has built at the org?
At least for me personally right now, I just feel really motivated to win something for G2 and for myself and for my team, for my family, like for everyone. So I feel really motivated. I don't feel the pressure right now. Maybe if we had more time together, like a year, like the old G2, then yeah, I'll definitely feel the pressure. But right now, I just feel like just me. I just have to show it to myself that I can do it.
I mean, it's been it's been a while, since you have won a trophy in Valorant before, and you won a really, really big one. So does that feel like, because everybody look at that team and they go, oh, it's been a long time since those players have won anything. Does it feel like a long time to you too? Because it hasn't been that long.
For me, it hasn't been that long. Like we lost against Ascent in Masters 1, and we were just, I don't know, it's like, I still remember it on Icebox where Nuki versus, I don't know who it was. It was like a 0.01 diffuse, and then we could pretty much have won the whole thing. But I don't feel it was that long time ago still. And watching Iceland from home, it just motivated me every day. I was grinding, playing, watching the games. So I feel like I'm more than ready right now.
Obviously, I also wanted to ask you, because I don't think many people would have predicted that you would be going to Berlin representing G2. Because that Heretics team, and I know people call this G2 team like the European super team because the way that you guys formed and all of the jokes around like poaching and all that stuff. But the old Heretics team, that was the European super team. So what's it been like for you? Was it an easy decision to leave and come to G2? And obviously you didn't come by yourself, your teammate came with you, but do you also feel like you kind of moved from one super team to another one?
I feel like at the end of Heretics, it didn't feel like a super team anymore. Like after Niso took a break, it didn't feel like the same, especially after the loss against Ascent on Masters. Something was off, like our practice was really bad, the mood was bad, like everything. Like from outside, people probably thought that me and Nuki were stupid as fuck. Switch from a really good team, but like being like inside the team environment, it was horrible. So yeah, it was probably the best decision me and Nuki could have done.
Okay, final question for you, AvovA, before we leave for today. Thank you for all your time. To leave on a bit of a fun one. Obviously, the G2 offices are in Berlin. The next tournament is in Berlin. It's not too far of a trip for you. It's not very exciting like some of these other teams where Japan gets to come to Berlin for the first time and all that. If you could pick, let's say next summer, the next Masters event in the summer, nice weather, good place to visit, where would you pick that summer Masters be? And you cannot use your home country. Do not cop out.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
No.
Oh.
You can go anywhere in the world except your home country.
No, but can you imagine a Valorant, like a major international tournament in the country that is known for Counter-Strike? Like, that would be so hype. I would love that.
There's no Danish players, I'm telling you. Like, everyone is just playing Counter-Strike.
But it would be funny. It'd be funny, like.
Yeah, I think Spain will be sick. I think Spain will be so sick. Like the Spanish community, for some reason, Valorant, the Spanish community is huge.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it was like that in CS. I'm not sure. I'm not from Spain, but I feel like the Spanish community, just like the Spanish and the Latin, is huge. I can't say it more than that.
They're the same in League of Legends. They're like, when G2 goes to Spain for League of Legends, it's like celebrities. It's like crazy,
Masters Madrid,
crazy.
Baby. Let's take it to Madrid, baby. Masters Madrid.
I can see it.
I love Madrid. Madrid's a great city. It's bonkers.
I could definitely see it. But, before Masters Madrid, we have Masters Berlin. And AvovA, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, I'm going to see you there in Berlin, rooting for you guys. Knock Sentinels out of group. Send them on a plane home. Bye-bye. And make that dream run. Thank you so much for joining us.
you so
Always a
much.
pleasure. And thank you to you as well, Tyler, for tolerating all of the EMEA hype that we're having.
It's okay. Well, we have a few weeks left. You have a few weeks left before we have our post show. So.
Yeah, and not hating us this time. But that is all for us this week. Make sure to go give AvovA a follow as well for those Hasbulla memes. He's not going to disappoint you. And if you like the episode, drop a like and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Showstopper.